guys, we are back with another episode, and today we are going to focus on basketball, specifically the NBA Western Conference Finals and the NBA Finals. I'm your host Jaden Eccles with my co-host DJ here, and let's talk about Game 7. Game 7 was an absolute thriller from start to finish.
Yes,
Obviously, the Spurs came out on top, thankfully. Much needed, honestly. I think that result honestly saved basketball, in my opinion. But yeah. I want you to start off. What do you think? What are your biggest takeaways from Game 7? Let's start with the Spurs so far. Let's start with the Spurs. What do you think were your biggest takeaways for the Spurs?
I this was this was a full out well round performance from the Spurs. I mean, they just didn't have one guy that was just carrying the load. Like Wemby only had 22 points. I mean, Wemby played pretty good. He played defense as well. But I thought they controlled the game from start to finish, which I did not expect. Like I said before, I was rooting for the Spurs to win, but deep inside, I just thought OKC was going to come in and win that Game 7 at home. They're the defending champs. They've been in this moment before. But the Spurs look like they have been in this moment before.
Mhm.
I can say they surprised me a little bit. The young guys, Dylan Harper, he's been amazing all series. Fox came in and played well today. But yeah, they controlled the game from start to finish, and they was just very poised in the moment. Every time OKC went on a run, San Antonio came back and answered with their run of their own to get back control of the game. So I just thought they were the more poised team throughout the entire game. And yeah, it was just a well-rounded performance. Everybody showed up to play, and I mean they're going to the finals. So
I wholeheartedly agree, and I want to give a huge, huge shout out to Julian Champagnie. Oh my gosh.
yeah,
That guy is nice like that. He came out and he was on fire the entire game. I honestly think that because I remember watching the game, and before the game started, I heard Reggie Miller talking about, oh, we need a big performance from a role player or somebody that really go for 20 every night, you know? And I think he stepped up. He stepped up to the plate really well. Obviously, Wemby, Castle, Harper, Vassell, they all did their things. But Julian Champagnie is really what I feel. I feel like he was that fuel to their fire in order to win that game. I
yeah,
think that his performance was just as pivotal as everybody else's. And obviously, Wemby won the MVP. Of course, he was going to. We all knew that was going to happen. But overall, I'm really liking how the Spurs are looking, and I think it's going to be an awesome rematch between the Knicks and the Spurs in the finals. Now, let's talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder. Ugh. Before I get into them, I want to say to all the chronically online social media people, I never in my life want to see y'all compare Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to Steph Curry another day in your life. Because there's no way in the world in his back-to-back year, Steph Curry would have lost Game 7 in the Western Conference Finals on his home court. There's no way in the world. I cannot see it happening. And talk about the team themselves. What a letdown, man. What a letdown. At home. Oh my gosh. Everybody's like, oh, they're going to OKC. They're going to get Tony Brothers. Oh, all the officials going to go their way or whatever. I honestly thought so too, but as you saw, it didn't work out. And I'm honestly, call me crazy if you want, but I'm low-key looking at trading Chet after putting up 2 shots in the biggest game of your career. 2 shots. I will say, SGA was hooping. He had a couple little foul bait moments, but he does every game. But genuinely, he was hooping, and I honestly felt bad for him because he had no help. He was missing AJ Mitchell and J-Dub. Yeah, we were without them two or our greater scorers or whatever. Still, you got to have somebody. You got to have depth. And you had depth all season and all playoffs up until now. But just fell short. But like I said, I'd trade Chet, honestly. But what do you think?
Yeah. First of all, I'll just start off and say, yeah, like I told you before, I really don't get into the Shea comparison things. He's still got a young career, but he's obviously one of the greats. But I would not put this game seven on Shea at all. Much respect goes out to him. Like I say, when he
No,
started out there doing all the fall baiting and flopping and falling to the ground, he's a beautiful player to watch. I must admit. In that game seven, he was getting to it. He was getting buckets. Obviously, he was let down by the rest of his guys, especially Chet Holmgren. Two shots taken in game seven. That's just unacceptable, bro. You're the second option on the team. Like
absolutely.
like that just can't happen.
Like you're
And
the second.
like two shots, like it's another thing to go in the game and just go like, say for instance, if he went 4 for 17, that's cool. You go 4 for 17. It just maybe wasn't your day. But two shots taken, you just wasn't aggressive at all. You were scared of Wemby, and I just don't know what it is with him. He's afraid of Wemby, and I think that's just what it is. And I mean, yeah, two shots taken. You're just not aggressive at all. Shea was Shea. Obviously, yeah, the role players didn't play how they usually play. I thought Casey Wallace played very well, especially in that fourth quarter. Jeremy Kane hit a shot here or there, but yeah, I mean, Shea just did not have enough help. And then with the Chet thing, trading him, I agree, but I don't think they will. Um, just because, I mean, Chet is still the second best defender in the world, and I say that, and I don't know why he wasn't guarding Wemby. They had Jalen when Chet and Jalen Williams in the game. Jalen Williams was guarding Wemby, and I still don't get that. Chet was never in foul trouble or anything like that. But yeah, so I don't think they will trade Chet just because of just he's 7'4", 7'3", whatever you want to call him. He's second best defender in the world behind Wemby. Yeah, I honestly could see them moving on from J Dub. I mean, yeah, I think J Dub just
Really?
not been healthy. And then when you see when he came back in the playoffs, they looked better without him. Even though he was still a little injured and banged up, but OKC looked like a better team without him. But I mean, you lost Game Seven in the Western Conference Finals to a really good San Antonio team, a generational player, Wemby. I don't think it's too much with a panic button with all the assets that you still got, and you still got Shea Gibbs out. You still got Shea as your guy, so it's not a big panic button because you lost in 7 games in the West Conference Finals, 1 game away from going back to the finals. But I I actually do see OKC try to make some moves this offseason. I mean, even though if they came back with that same team, they still be one of the best teams in the West still. But I do see them trying to make some moves because
Mhm.
Chat, that was unacceptable. 2 points, I mean 4 points, two shots taken. Like, shoot the ball, man. I don't care if you go out there and shoot 2 for 20. Be aggressive, get to the hole. You can do that. Like, so I was very surprised by that. I did not expect him to go out there and go crazy, but I did not expect 4 points and 4 rebounds from Chet Holmgren. I did not.
I will say I have to disagree with you on that. I really don't see them moving on from J Dub, and I honestly think that he is one of the winners of their loss because basically by them losing, he proved like it was proved that they can't win big games without him. And he's honestly not wrong. I think if he played in that game seven, it probably would have gone the other way. That's just me. He at least would have scored
I
a
mean,
handful of
yeah,
points,
yeah, we can
much
easily
more than
say
four,
that. Yeah,
obviously.
yeah, we can. But
But
I just thought when he came back, they did not look like they looked better without him, especially this year. And like I always say, the best ability is availability, and that matters. And I'm not saying he's not going to be healthy for the rest of his career and all things like that. But like, was that third team All NBA year a choke for him? We don't know. I mean, obviously we have to see what he come back and do. But I mean, you can play you in still. I mean, you don't have to trade him in the offseason. You can play with it until the trade deadline and things like that. But I mean, I think if they keep their big three, because now Chet and J Dub extensions kick in, so now you're going to lose probably Isaiah Hartenstein. You're going to lose Lou Dort. I think you got to keep Caruso no matter what. I think that's your glue guy right there. You keep
oh
Caruso,
yeah,
but you're gonna lose some guys. You're gonna lose a lot of guys this time because J Dub and Chet extensions are kicking in. But I mean, if you telling me that that's gonna be your big three, OKC will still be a good team. Like, it's just they won a championship with that big three, so if they decide to do keep them. I wouldn't be surprised. They're still young and things like that. But Chet, hopefully this is just a wake up moment for him. I think he's embarrassed, and I hope he feels embarrassed, and I hope he remembers this moment and carry it with him all the way into next season.
Absolutely. There's no way. You should not feel anything but embarrassment because you're an all NBA level player. You're an all star player, all this and that. And you're putting up 2 shots in the game 7 of the Western Conference Finals. I mean, like, yeah, we talked about, Clay went 0 for 10 elimination game. He shot the ball. I would much rather go 0 for 10 and then take 2 shots, especially as the second option. There's no way in the world I could justify as the second option taking 2 shots in one of the biggest games of my career. No way. Absolutely no way. And that honestly puts you on the trade block now, in my opinion at least. I'm not saying, they're going to actually trade you, but in my opinion, that puts you on the trade block, especially with Giannis, everybody trying to pull their way into that.
Say
They
I
could
don't I
throw
don't
you
want to
into
see it.
they could
Yeah,
throw
I don't want
you
to see
for the
OKC
first
do
round
it
pick.
because OKC
They
definitely
could
got the
throw
pieces to make
anybody in
it.
there,
Yeah,
honestly.
OKC has the pieces to
Oh
make the
yeah.
trade happen. If they wanted to right now, they have the pieces to do it. I hope they don't, but they do have the pieces to do it. They
If
do.
they do, I am unsubscribing from the NBA entirely. I am done with the NBA. There's no way in the world. You put Giannis on that team, especially if they some way somehow find a way to keep that first round pick that's coming up in a little while. Yeah, there's no way. No way. I'd be done. But that would make me really upset, and that's gonna send me on the rabbit hole. But anyway, let's move on to the finals. So, 1999. Last time the Knicks were in the NBA Finals, and they faced the Spurs. So, looking ahead to this rematch, what do you think is going to happen?
Um, I got the Knicks winning this series in 6 games.
Really?
Yes,
Oh,
as
I gotta hear this.
as I stated before, yeah, everybody want to talk about the East this week and things like that, but like the Knicks have been playing the best ball in basketball, and I'm going to say it again. They have been the best team in basketball in these playoffs. They've been the best offense by a lot, and they're starting to defend. They're getting Cat to play a little defense. All you got to do, you hire Jalen Brunson. We know Jalen Brunson ain't going nobody, and that's cool. He makes up for an offensive end, but Jalen Brunson and Cat, they're trying on defense. Cat is trying on defense, and that's all that matters. But they've been the best offense by a lot. And I think they're just the best team in basketball. If they can find a way, I think they're going to put OG on Wemby and try to toughen him up a little bit and things like that. Just try to deny him the ball, off ball, and things like that. I think the Knicks are going to win. Yes, San Antonio is San Antonio, and they made it out the West. They beat the defending champs. I get it. But I think the Knicks have the best starting five in basketball. I could be wrong, but I think they have overall the best starting five. And people might criticize me for this right here. I think when you need a bucket, when you just need a bucket, the Knicks know who they're going to get the ball to. And I'm not saying it's no brainer that you get a ball to Wemby for San Antonio, but I don't think how can
Yeah.
I put this? Wemby at his age right now and his development, he's gonna get way better. But can we just say he's just a pure go bucket getter right now? I wouldn't say that. I mean, he's a big man, so he get most of his buckets off the roll and things like that, and transition buckets and pop threes. But when you just need a bucket, the Knicks have that guy, and I don't think San Antonio have that guy. I don't think Castle is that guy. I don't think Foster's that guy. And so, yeah, and
Mm.
Dylan Harper is not that guy yet. So I think when it comes down to it, the Nets will rely on their offense. They will score the ball effectively. And now this is all saying if McHale is going to be McHale, Cat's going to be Cat, and they're going to keep playing how they've been playing. But I got the Nets winning in 6 games in New York, and they're gonna tear the freaking city up.
That is 100% true. If they some way somehow win this NBA championship, that city will no longer exist. I can agree with you on that part. But I'm gonna have to disagree with you on the other part and say Spurs in 7. Now, there's no way in the world I couldn't see this being a sweep either way. I cannot see that happen. There's no way
No,
in the world.
no.
But I will say, and I'll give New York credit. New York is a great team, like the best offense in the playoffs so far, no, undoubtedly. But I will say it'll hit the Spurs hard in the mouth when they're rotating guys like Cat and Mitchell Robinson on Wemby, and like they're all energized and everything, but his next option is Luke Cornett. Luke is good, but he's not Cat or anything like that. You know what I mean? So he's gonna have to play heavy minutes this series, and them having those fresh legs on him is going to wear him down a little bit. But I do believe, I do believe in the Spurs bench. They have a pretty decent bench, and they have a bunch of other good guards and stuff around Wimby as well. I think that those guys are going to step up, and eventually Wimby's going to make that adjustment later on in the series. I think the first game or two he might struggle a little bit, and after that he'll be all right. So I got the Spurs in 7. I think that they're going to stun everybody. Oh, the Knicks are they swept the Cavs and they won by 40 basically every game. Nah, not this time around. It's that Spurs. It's Spurs. Go Spurs, go! Come on. That's what I'm rooting for right now. I'm rooting for Wemby,
I do,
and
yeah.
that's
It
who I
would
got
be,
one in the
yeah, it would be
finals.
a competitive series for sure. Like and I truly want that, and I truly
Oh yeah,
expect that. But but yeah, I think it's just the Knicks year, and the Knicks team knows that. Like they know that this is probably the only time that they're going to get there. This is probably their last shot. And I mean, I hate to put it like this. I know both teams are not thinking like this, but I mean, Wemby, he's 22, whatever. He'll be there plenty of times. The Knicks know that right now, this probably it. This is it. Like even though because we always say the East is wide open every year, so we don't never know with the East. But still, the Knicks, I think they know that this is it, and they're playing team basketball. They're playing the best basketball, and I think they're the better. I think they're the better team, and if people still gonna call me crazy, I know they're coming out the East. I know they didn't really play anybody and things like that, but they dominated in the East. They dominated. It wasn't even close. Yeah, the Hawks won 2 games on them, but we seen what happened after those 2 games. So yeah, I think the Knicks are going to win, and
oh
I
yeah.
had already put in my mind when OKC was like in game 6 and 7. I had already said I was picking the Knicks to win the NBA Finals. So maybe I'm wrong. I mean, only time will tell. But yeah, Knicks and 6, man. Knicks and 6. It actually sounds a little good. Knicks and 6. It sounds a little good.
No, I'm not hearing any of that. But I do want to say, slightly off topic, can we talk about how cool of a career Mike Brown has had?
Yeah,
I mean, he's worked with Kobe, LeBron, Curry, D Fox, and now he's going to the finals with the Knicks. Oh my gosh. Especially if he pulls this off. Oh my goodness. What a career. But
yeah.
yeah, he's had a great career, and it's looking like it should be wraps for James Harden. And, the Cavs are ugh. But let's talk about them actually. What do you think is the new moves for them now that their season is definitely cooked and they're moving on to
Well,
next year?
yeah, I seen they have like the highest like total team salary or something in the NBA or something like that, so that's not good. But I think the question kicks in, but I think he is your guy. A lot of people say have the question like, is Donovan Mitchell that guy? Can Donovan Mitchell do this? I mean, yeah, I mean you did just make the East Conference Finals. Yeah, it was his first conference finals, but Donovan Mitchell is a great player. I think he do got to develop that being a more willing passer and getting his teammates more involved and making his teammates better. I think he got to get that part of his game better. But other than that, Donovan Mitchell, he's a great leader. So you keep building around Donovan Mitchell. I don't. I mean, I got the James Harden trade, but I just didn't like it. I mean, I don't. I just don't. I said it when they made the trade. I just don't think James Harden gets you over the edge. James Harden is a great player, Hall of Fame player. Will go down as one of the best scorers to ever play this game. But James Harden right now, he's just. I just don't think he's the guy. And now you got to keep him. I mean, I'm not saying you would have been better off, but Darius Garland is a good player. He's a great point. He's a great young point guard in this league. I thought you
Oh
could have
yeah.
kept him, and I mean, you would have been perfectly fine. I think you should probably steal the guy out of the Toronto and the Detroit Steelers with Darius Garland. But yeah. So now, I mean, you got to keep Harden because with that contract, you're not going to trade him. I don't think no one want to pick up that. And now you got Donovan Mitchell. I mean, and you got to keep Evan Mobley. I think you start with those three, and now everybody else. I mean, you got to look to make some moves or whoever got contract extensions. I actually do like Matt Strus. I think he's the glue guy for that team. Um, they play with no effort
Oh
in
yeah.
that Knicks. They play with no effort in that Knicks series, but Matt Strus probably the only guy that I'll say that was out there playing with effort, and especially in the Detroit series. He gave Cade Hill. I watched him force Cade to like three straight turnovers on three straight possessions. He gave Cade Hill. So Matt Strus plays with effort. He's the glue guy. He's the defensive guy for them. And then I mean, I'm sorry, but I mean, you gotta call that guy, and you know that guy I'm talking about. You know the hometown hero. You gotta call him, and you gotta beg him. I mean, you gotta
Oh
call up to the
god.
you gotta call up to the king. You gotta call him. You better get on you. I don't know. You better bow down to him. You better tell him. You better tell him do the best bribing you can do to try to get him to come down to Cleveland because I think that's your only chance at competing in the East next year. You get LeBron James to come back home to Cleveland. I think you got a good chance. You let Bron just run the show and facilitate that thing, man. I think that's the option for Cleveland. I mean, I don't think it's no other option. I mean, you're not going to get Giannis or anything and nothing like that, man. You sign and trade LeBron and you get Jerry Allen and stuff out there and you keep Mobley. That's what you better do if you're Cleveland. I mean, you might not get him. He might stay in LA, but you better be calling. You better be doing everything you can to try to get him. Get Donovan Mitchell and call him. Fly him out. Do whatever you got to do to get King James back in Cleveland. So that would be my option for them. Go get LeBron James. Let him do his farewell tour in Cleveland. It's best for basketball. It's best for business. And I mean, hey, and you'll be competing in the East. I mean, because you tell me right now, if LeBron James was on this Cleveland team, are you telling me confidently, fully, that the Knicks beat the Cavs with LeBron James on the Cavs? I don't know. I would pick
I
the
can't say confidently. I
I
can't.
would pick the Cavs in probably 7 games or 6 games. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I got for Cleveland. I mean,
It definitely would.
yeah, you go ahead.
I actually want to go back to you. So, since we're talking about LeBron coming back to Cleveland, if you could pitch it, how would you pitch it? If you were the GM of the Cavs and you're calling up LeBron, you're trying to get him to come back home, all that, what are you doing?
I mean,
I want to hear.
obviously, you got to just kind of start off. You got to start off with your star player, Donovan Mitchell. You got to tell him that you got a guy here who just can score the ball, can do what he do, great leader, and all things like that. You pitch him with Donovan Mitchell, and then I mean, you tell him that you got the defense with Evan Mobley, but then you just got to go back to the basic roots. You got to tell LeBron James, "Hey man, this is where it all started. We want you. We'll embrace you in. The fans want you. This is home. You know, that's what you got to tell them. This is home. This is where it all started, and this is where we want you to finish your career." And I think that right there makes him go back into his memory and things like that. And now, obviously, you got to go home and talk to Savannah and things like that. Because I mean, do Savannah want to go back and live in Cleveland for a year or so, or things like that? Or is Savannah gonna say I'm gonna stay in LA and they separated for a year? I don't think so. So it comes down to things like that. You got to try to give him things that you know that'll make him want to come. But yeah, I think just it being home, he got family here, he got family there. That's where it all started. And I mean, man, if you LeBron James, if you able to go back to Cleveland and win another championship there, wow, what a story! What a story!
Oh my goodness. Exactly. And I will say, it'll sound like I'm agreeing with you, and I kind of am, but in order for the Cavs to come back from what just happened to them, and let's say make it back to the conference finals next year, and maybe even make it more competitive or win. What you really and truly need, because I think Donovan Mitchell can be that guy for that team. It's just he needs more mentorship in terms of being a leader. Because yeah, he was a leader on the Jazz, but it was the Jazz. No one took the Jazz seriously outside of him and Gobert. But you have a lot more guy. You have a lot more star power in Cleveland. If you can be that guy, and then you have a James Harden, you have an Evan Mobley, like you said, a Max Strus, your glue guy. And you have a couple of other guys who can really back y'all up as well. Then yeah, you can definitely go back and even get over the hump. And who could do something like that? I hate to admit it, nobody better than LeBron James. He knows the city. He knows all this. He knows the whole organization. And he's a true leader. He can help you. And then, all right, I learned from LeBron this year. He's got his retirement tour. And then the next year, even during that year and the following year and beyond, now you know what it takes. Now you know how to truly be a
Yep.
leader because you learned from one of the best ever. So that honestly isn't that crazy of an idea. Is it gonna happen? Only time will tell. But I'm not gonna say, oh, that's a horrible idea. I disagree. It is. It's honestly possible. So I think that getting that leadership, mentorship, it's weird to say it, but yeah, that leadership, mentorship for Donovan Mitchell is very important, and I think that this offseason is where he needs it the most. So that's my take on Cleveland and their offseason. What do you think about OKC?
Um, you said OKC. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I
like what do you
think
think their offseason should look like?
realistically, obviously they're gonna make a trade in the draft for sure because they can't afford. They got two first round picks. They have already came out. They can't afford those two first round picks because there's two first round picks that take about 80 mil or something in their salary cap, so they can't afford that. So they're gonna probably joint those together and trade up for a smaller pick or things like that. And so yeah, that's what they're probably gonna do. And then yeah, I honestly I think they're just gonna run it back. I think they're gonna run it back. Realistically, I think they're just gonna run it back. I mean, you just made the West Coast final. You lost in 7 games. I mean, Shea is gonna get better. Chet and J Dub should get better. I mean, they're young. They should develop and get better than what they are. So I think they're gonna run it back. They're gonna lose a lot of young guys. I mean, a lot of their core guys that they had Isaiah Joe, Luke Dort, Hartenstein. They're gonna lose guys like that because they just can't afford them. But that's what happens when you win. You lose guys. But yeah, I really don't expect them to do too much. But yeah, I expect them to run it back with that big three. And I mean, I'm sorry, but they'll be competing back in the West again. I mean, that's just how good they are. I mean, they was without J Dub all year and was number one seed without a doubt. So as much as I hate to say it, they'll be competing in the West again because they got Shea. They got one of the best
Yeah,
players in basketball.
I see. It's a polar opposite of like outcomes for them. It's either yeah, you run it back, hardly lose anybody, keep basically the same team, or you make a big blockbuster trade. Like you make a huge move, you get a Giannis, or you get a bunch more picks for somebody who's already on your team, and you just continue to always have, all right, we're gonna rotate these new younger guys in who are really good, and we have a top 10 pick every year, basically, and just own the draft. It's something like it's either gonna be one of those two things. That's how I see it going. I see it either being yeah, you run it back, or some big blockbuster trade in some way, form, or fashion. And I really don't want to be honest. That's the main thing. I really don't. That's the last person I need to see in
I
Oklahoma
did
City
see
jersey.
some I
It's
did
it.
see that
Ooh,
OKC has some type of interest in Evan Mobley though. I did see something like that, and that would be very interesting.
that's that's another young guy who's really good. I could see that happening too. Um, I feel like he would be a really good piece to back up Chet. Not like, oh, he's behind him in the rotation, but like having Chet and Mobley together, especially if they lose Hartenstein, would be a great front court for them. And yeah, that'd be a pretty good pick or a pretty good trade. So I could see that happening. And now I know we kind of previewed the finals already, but you said you got the Knicks, right?
Yeah, listen, six.
Okay. Yes, Knicks in six. Uh, I'm really excited to see this. This is probably one of the greatest finals, or one of the greater finals I've seen in recent years, and that
I
probably
do
wouldn't be
think
the
San
case
Antonio
if
win games
Halliburton
one
didn't.
though. I do think that.
Really?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think the
I
Knicks
want to
Knicks
ask you
been out
that.
for a long
What's
time.
the order? Yeah, Knicks in six. You have Knicks in 6. What's the order for those 6 games? Obviously, the Knicks win 4, but which 4 do they win?
Okay. Knicks win game 2, game 3, 5, and
Mm-hmm.
6.
Okay. 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 I see this being a back and like kind of like how the Western Conference Finals was, back and forth. Like, oh, the road team or the home team steals or what? What am I saying? The road team steals one game on the road, and then the home team wins the other one, and then the same thing for the next two, and then it's back and forth. The next game, it's up 3-2. What am I saying? I'm so confused right now. The Spurs won game 1, and then lost game 2 to OKC, and then game 3 and 4 was also 1-1. Game 5 went to OKC, and then game 6 and 7 went to the Spurs. Something like that for the same thing, basically for the Spurs. That's what I see happening.
I mean, I could see it. I don't think it's crazy. I mean, I don't. I mean, I think this. I think both teams are very, really good teams. I can see either team winning. I mean, obviously, San Antonio is heavily favored. Not heavily, but they're obviously favored in this series. So, I mean, I don't think it's a shocker at all if they win. But once again, Knicks and six sounds good.
Uh, I'm not rocking with that. But if it is really anything, whatever it is, I will definitely be tuning in to any and every camera I can find, live camera in New York, to see how bad it is out there, because it will be a war zone for sure. But that is all the time we have today, guys. Thank you again for tuning in. Very much appreciated.